Hello Internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So, it's my first retro review of the year. It's a fresh new start to continue doing the same thing I've been doing, talking about old video games. And you know what? Every year those games get older and older. Time just keeps on slipping by. And, for us, we just keep getting older and aging and our bodies are slowly decaying, but you know what will never die? Nostalgia! For example, something that never gets old and always brings a smile to my face, Marvel's X-Men. I won't dwell on it too much since I've already talked about it quite a bit, but my favorite superhero series is the X-Men. I love the series more than Spider-Man, Batman, or anything else. Not sure what it is, maybe it's the wide cast of characters. The heroes are cool and so diverse, and the franchise as a whole was a pretty big part of my childhood. And I've already reviewed the Sega Genesis X-Men games as I played the hell out of those growing up. But there's still X-Men games I haven't talked about yet. For example, No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the Super Nintendo's X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up, so this game just kind of bypassed me. But what's funny is that whenever I hear anyone talk about 16-bit X-Men games, they're usually referring to the Sega Genesis games. Why doesn't anyone talk about this one? This is a completely original title developed by Capcom. That sounds pretty interesting to me. So, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. So on the island of Genosha, mutants are being held captive by a brutal army and the giant robots known as Sentinels. Apocalypse is on the island as well and is scheming up some plans for those captured mutants. Professor Xavier sends in the X-Men to rescue the mutants and to put a stop to Apocalypse. We start and we get to choose our own X-Man. We get to select from the team leader Cyclops, everyone's favorite Canadian Wolverine, the philosophical blue fur baby Beast, the raging Cajun Gambit, and the deadly martial artist known as Psylocke. Compared to the Genesis games, this lineup of playable characters is pretty much what you'd expect, minus Nightcrawler. Though I wonder why these old 16-bit X-Men games always excluded characters like Rogue, Storm, Jean Grey, Archangel, Iceman, or Colossus. Sure, there's lots of X-Men characters out there, and to have all of them playable in any game is pretty unrealistic, but come on! I mean, Rogue and Storm are super popular. How cool would it be to play as either of them? Well, let's pick our X-Man to play as. It doesn't really matter who you pick though, because all the characters have their own specific levels, and you have to play and beat them all. Let's go ahead and start with Cyclops. So we can use the D-pad to move, Y to punch, B to jump, and the A, the X, and the shoulder buttons do absolutely nothing. But I'm Cyclops. Where's my freaking optic blast? Oh, it's there. How do you get to work though? Well, have you heard of another Capcom title called Street Fighter? Yeah, doing specials is kinda like that. Yeah, the special moves for each character is a button combo. They're all listed in the game manual too. So to do something as simple as use an optic blast with Cyclops, you don't just push A or X, you have to do a quarter circle and press Y. If you want to do a jump blast, press B, quarter circle, and then A while in midair. It's basically the same kind of combo for every character. So yeah, you can do those basic attacks, but if you want to do some heavy damage, get comfortable with those button combos. As someone who likes fighting games but is terrible with them, I'm kind of indifferent on this. However, when you do pull off one of those special moves, it's strong, and it does feel a bit more rewarding. Anyway, let's beat up some of these assholes. The game is pretty straightforward, just beat up everything in your way. I get to this part with these Scout Trooper wannabes flying around. God damn, they're so quick! I'm getting my ass kicked! Yeah! Damn! Let's try this again. You gotta be super quick with these enemies. Shoot them with your optic blast if you can. And now that I know how to beat them, it's easy. Son of a bitch! Surprise attacks like that piss me off! But once you actually learn the level, the game can be pretty fun. So each X-Men gets their own pool of lives, and since I lost both of mine with Cyclops, it's game over. Damn. So I restart the game and I play through this again. Like I mentioned, it gets a lot easier now that I know what bullshit lies ahead. At the end of the stage, you have to destroy this device on this train, and of course you got random crap flying around and shooting at you. Destroy the machine on one side, and then the other, and mission accomplished. Next up, Wolverine. Of course he gets that badass glass-shattering entrance. So playing as Wolverine is similar to Cyclops, but instead of Optic Blast, he gets a sweet uppercut, gets a pretty good downward strike, and he can climb walls. Oh, and before I forget, while you're playing, keep a lookout for these little blue cards. For every 3 you collect, you get an extra life. Anyway, continue and we'll destroy some robots and even have a mini-boss with a big robot. Wolverine's running claw attack is pretty useful for killing this dude, as well as most enemies. A short while later, we'll get a boss fight with the giant Sentinel. It's still being worked on, so it's basically just one giant head that shoots lasers. Just attack the head while easily avoiding the lasers and occasionally knocking out the guards. Mission accomplished! Now let's play as Beast. What makes Beast unique is that he can stick upside down on certain platforms. He's also got this useful Beast Bounce attack. I gotta say, it feels a lot better playing as Beast here than it did in X-Men 2 Clone Wars. We'll get a mini boss fight with another giant robot, and then we get some rotating platforms to go through. At the end, we got a boss fight with 3 Sentinels. Just keep doing the Beast Bounce, and this will be a cinch. Now let's play as Gambit. I like playing as Gambit, not just because he was one of my favorite X-Men, but his specials are a lot easier to pull off. He's also got a good dash attack. So his level has us in a warehouse. There's lots of guards and some of them throw bombs. There's also a section with moving platforms we have to jump off of. After an elevator section and a small boat ride, we destroy a helicopter's missiles, jump into the aircraft, kill Doom Guy here, and then the level is done. Now, last but not least, we got Psylocke. A Sentinel shoots her down, but we continue with the mission. And goddamn did they make Psylocke thick! Jeez! At least her sprites aren't distracting. Hey. Oh. Whoa. Okay, we're all adults here. We can be mature about this, come on! So, as Psylocke, she's got a strong psychic knife attack. She's also got a stomp bounce attack like Beast. Her leg sweep is pretty useful too, as it hit enemies from both sides. There's a bunch of guards to fight and a mini-boss with, you guessed it, a giant robot. After you defeat the robot, the ground starts breaking, which leads us to a boss with a Sentinel. He keeps hitting me, but I'm killing him faster than he's killing me, so I win! Mission accomplished! Now, Professor Xavier learns the whereabouts of the prison mutants, but not the exact point, so go X-Men, figure it out! The next level is exactly the same no matter who you pick, so I'll just go ahead and pick Gambit. We move forward and... oh, those things. The Brood. I hate those guys, in both the comics and the games. Good thing here they're extremely weak. One hit typically kills them. Watch out though, because certain ones will latch onto you. At the end of this stage, we fight Queen Brood. I got my ass kicked the first time I fought her, but I didn't realize that what you want to do is attack her stinger first. You can't damage her by hitting the stinger, but after so many hits, the stinger falls off and she's pretty much helpless. Now you just have to watch out for her little underlings. Altogether, if you use someone with a long-range attack like Gambit or Cyclops, this battle shouldn't be too hard. Aim for the head and you'll eventually win. Xavier now finds the location of the prison but warns us that the villain Tusk is guarding it. Pick your X-Men and go fight him. This stage isn't much of a stage, rather than it's a boss fight. And there he is, Tusk. I never cared for this villain either. Why did they try pushing this guy in the 90s? Anyway, Tusk will charge at you, but try to hit him first and try to be quick and he won't even have a chance to hit you. Defeat him to defeat him. Oh shit, here we go. Time to face Apocalypse. We'll now go through one of the hardest levels in the game, and really it's only hard because of the first part. there's lava, and it's headed in your direction. Of course, there's obstacles in your way too. One touch from the lava, and you're dead. I had some trouble with this part. I liked using Gambit, but I just couldn't get through. Then I used Cyclops and I had an easier time. If you aren't very good with performing the special moves like myself, use Cyclops' kicking attack. It's strong, and it doesn't look as ridiculous as his kicking attack from Spider-Man and the X-Men. And just avoid this card here too. It'll make a difference because you'll barely pass through this. And once we do, we'll find those mutants in the cells. Shortly after, we'll have another section with lava. Shit. And here we go, the big bad fight with Apocalypse. He'll constantly teleport, and when he reappears, he'll hit you with one of his attacks, including shooting fire out of his hand, turning his hand into a drill, and imitating a porcupine. My best strategy is to use someone like Cyclops. When Apocalypse disappears, time your optic blast to hit him just as he appears, and you'll hurt him before he has the chance to even hurt you. I also gotta point out that I love his sprite for when you hurt him. He's like, "Hey, what the hell just happened?" Keep attacking and we'll win. Yeah, take that, Apocalypse. So, that's X-Men Mutant Apocalypse for the Super Nintendo. What? Wait, there's more? But the title's called Mutant Apocalypse. If Apocalypse isn't the final boss, then oh, it's Magneto, isn't it? Of course! So Magneto wants to destroy the Genosian government for what they've done to mutants. He tells Xavier and the X-Men to retreat with the captured mutants, and then he disappears. Xavier brings everyone back to headquarters, and while he tries to find Magneto, he tells the X-Men to get some training in. Let's go in the danger room and fight Omega Red. Omega Red likes to appear right where you're standing, which is a bit dumb since that means you can hit him right away. Occasionally he'll stand afar and wiggle his tentacles at you, but hit him to make him stop. After you defeat him, we'll do some more training by fighting Juggernaut. Nice! I used Wolverine for this one. When Juggernaut charges at you, do a charge attack of your own and you'll go right through him. Yeah! Xavier says he's found Magneto hiding out in his outer space base known as Avalon, and he transports us there. So now we're on the final level. Sort of. Similar to the beginning of the game, each X-Men has their own individual level, but this time you only have to beat one to fight Magneto. I'll pick Cyclops. So, on Avalon, we get a new set of enemies. This asshole teleports all over and you only have a good chance of hitting him when he first appears. He makes certain platforming sections a bit difficult, but take your time and when he teleports, attack him. We'll eventually run into Magneto's right-hand man, Exodus. This guy teleports too, but he'll also shoot lasers and might even lift you up in the air and drop you. Luckily, you only have to beat this guy halfway up to make him retreat. We then get a boss fight with the robot. Just keep shooting it and while avoiding its lasers. Once it's destroyed, it's time to fight Magneto. Alright, you son of a bitch, let's do this! Magneto is covered in his unstoppable electric bubble. He'll use his magnetic powers to pull in scraps of metal to throw at you. At that point, you only get a small window to hit him. And I'll tell you what, I got my ass handed to me. Well, shit. The good news is, if you want to fight Magneto again, you can just pick that same character to fight him. However, if you want to use a different character, you'll have to beat their level and then fight Magneto. Since I couldn't do shit as Cyclops, I'm going to try my luck with Wolverine. Inside his final level, he has laser beams to dodge, but it's a lot of the same enemies as before, including another fight with Exodus. He only has half a life bar too, probably because I kicked his ass as Cyclops before he retreated. Defeating him this time actually sees him disappear. I wonder if I pick another X-Men, would they even fight him at all now? Anyway, Wolverine fights a robot as well, and then it's boss time with Magneto. I'm sure there's probably an easier way, but I find a method that works for me. When Magneto starts collecting scraps to throw at me, I climb the wall and hit him with the downward strike. Problem is, it only does a sliver of damage. Oh boy, this is gonna take a while. But hey, it works! Magneto gives his whole "you haven't seen the last of me" speech, and the X-Men reunite with some more X-Men, and we see a little picture of everyone before the game ends. Apparently you get a longer ending if you beat the game without dying or using passwords. Fuck that though. So that's X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. So, how does this game hold up? Well, it's a good game. Some parts are debatable, but it's a good game. Graphically, it looks good. The character models are great and it has a real comic book style to it. I mean, look how freaking muscular everyone is. Their heads are so small compared to the rest of their bodies. The music in this game is fantastic as well. It's rockin'. Now when it comes to gameplay, this might come down to personal preference and might even make or break the game for you. So again, to use your mutant powers, you gotta do a button combo. Some specials are easy to pull off, like double tap forward and hit the attack button, but if you're one of those people that have trouble doing something like a down, forward, Y special, you might find yourself a bit frustrated with this game, as fighting a lot of bosses and whatnot are so much easier when you use your powers. It is kind of baffling that there's so many buttons on the controller that go unused. I mean, hypothetically, the game can be played on an NES controller. You'd think Capcom would just map specials to an unused button, but that kind of takes away the uniqueness of this game. If you could just spam specials, that wouldn't be as fun and it would break the game. But anyway, the game, the way it is, it's fantastic. It might actually be my favorite 16-bit X-Men title. It's challenging, features plenty of X-Men and their villains, and it's a joy to play. I'm not sure why I don't really hear anyone talk about this, or even the other Marvel Capcom Super Nintendo title, War of the Gems, but it's a fun, kick-ass X-Men adventure. But those are just my opinions. What do you guys think? What do you think of X-Men Mutant Apocalypse? Think it's good? Think it's bad? What's your favorite X-Men? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.